Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Touchdown with Doug Smith. And I got the squad here with us, Mr. Isaac, Adrian, Mike. How y'all doing tonight?
Fantastic.
Awesome. Great to hear. Great
Never
to hear.
better.
We're going to go ahead and kick off this episode. Of course, we got a week 17 recap. We got one more week of regular season football, and the drama is crazy. In this episode, we're going to take and talk about Mr. Antonio Brown storming off the field. Cincinnati Bengals. Congratulations. And then also as well, we got MVP predictions, and then we're going to talk about Mr. Trayvon Diggs, how he got exposed, and he might not be as good as we all think he is. So we'll get into it. But in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and play the dopest, the livest, the illest intro that you've ever heard in your life. And then when we come back, we'll go ahead and we'll kick it off. Here we go.
Touchdown with Doug Smith, celebrate, that's a new move. Heisman, 2 views, catch him on YouTube. NFL coverage, interviews, who lose, who win, who lose. Comedy, you choose, it's not about moolah. The QB's like Tua is missing in action. No L's on my shooter. Play it like Marino, it's a gamble like casino. Hungry for it, but you know we still gon' try to feed the beef. Rivalries will lead the conference. Cowboys of the Eagles, will Belichick be a threat? Better check. Tomlin on deck, much respect to the vet. What to expect? Gotta tune in for the rest. Make sure to sub, like, check. At the best, bad boy, the sports podcast. For the threat across the north, east, south, in the west. Sitting back clueless, time to tune in. Now another sports center, it's a movement.
That's right, folks. Not another sports center, but you dang sure better know that it is definitely a movement. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to another episode of the Touchdown with Doug Smith. As we call all our fans, our listeners of the show all across the world, whether you're listening in Mexico, Germany, Canada, Africa, wherever, United States. Thank you guys so much. We definitely appreciate every last one of you. From the event you want to donate to the pod and help take and grow the brand, down below is Cash App information. Go ahead and drop a penny, drop a dollar, whatever's in your heart. We always appreciate that. But in the meantime, before we get into some of the drama that happened this week, we're going to take and do a recap. We're going to go ahead and kick it off with the Philadelphia Eagles. And they beat the Washington football team. Now, Isaac, you are our Washington football team / Redskins / whatever the name going to be soon. Isaac, kick it off with this game and talk to us, man. What happened?
I mean, COVID happened, and that's kind of just what it's been continued to be the case. I mean, shout out to the Philadelphia Eagles. You know, NFC East has 2 representatives in the playoff picture. That is something to be celebrated. My fandom out of it. They call us the NFC least, but we have 2 representatives, so that's cool for that. But I don't know, man. I feel as though we fought, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's hard to play a NFL football game when you got guys that you just signed, that week, and expect to, really make a difference. But I don't really have any new thoughts. It's just kind of the same. Taylor Heineke, he's not the guy. I do think he's played himself into being the long-term backup for the organization. I would not mind having him, if he has to spot start. I know we can win a game with him. But over a 16, 17-week game season, I just don't see the arm strength just isn't there to make a consistent case to be the guy. But like I said, I would like to see him long-term in some form with the organization. I do think this offseason is going to be probably the biggest offseason we've had in decades. A lot of choices to make financially, team-wise. There's a lot of guys who I don't know if they need to come back on a second contract, and there's a couple guys who we do need to re-sign. So we're going to see what happens. Going forward, Ron Rivera, we're looking at you. Like we've said in this pod or on the episodes before, that old school mentality, that got to go, man. We got 2 teams that just made the playoffs in our division and are getting better. And if you're just staying in the same place, if you're staying stagnant, you're not getting better, you're regressing. So, like I said, I have nothing new. I'm kind of where I was these last couple of weeks. I thought we had a chance to do something, special coming off of that Raiders win, and then COVID was like, you thought, and took out half the roster. So, but
it happens.
I think.
No, we've seen this with coaches like that. Even though he started coaching later in life, Dick Vermeil, Mike Holmgren, and fantastic coaches, right? They're great. Like, can't take nothing away from them. Towards the end of the career, it was just like, hey, okay, it's time to hang it up. But then you got guys like Andy Reid, where it's like, okay, wow, you really NFC championship. I mean, literally, after multiple years in a row, right? You tease the whole fan base, and sometimes you got to redefine yourself. And I feel like Washington football team, is he going to do that? I don't know. I mean, it's the proof is in the pudding. Everything is now exposed. It stings and it hurts, but now it's like, okay, what are you going to do? What are you going to do to take and fix these problems? Are you going to stay in your ways and like, oh, my way works, or he's also had a Super Bowl appearance as well too, so that has to mean something. But at the same time, that was years ago, and 2021, 2022 season is currently happening right now. So, yeah, should be interesting. Should definitely be interesting. But Taylor Heinicke, I mean,
a lot of those coaches that you mentioned, to that same point about reinventing yourself, they surrounded themselves with coordinators that, could pick up the slack if they did. Looking at Andy Reid and Eric Bieniemy as an example. So we'll see. A lot of I don't know if Scott Turner and Jack Del Rio are the future, but one of the biggest knocks on Rivera is he's been loyal to a fault in the past. So we'll see if he's willing to admit that he made that mistake and make the necessary correction. Like I said, this offseason will be very telling on a lot of different levels.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. And then the next game I want to take and talk about here. We're just going to jump right into this. Buccaneers versus the Jets. Congratulations to the Buccaneers pulling off a dub. That was a little scary there because you almost lost to the Jets, who they've teased us a few games this season where they've even beat a few good teams. It's been very few because they only got 4 wins. But almost pulled it off here against the Buccaneers. I want to segue into this, though. Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown. Mike, I'm going to start with you. What are your thoughts on the Antonio Brown situation?
Optically, it looks terrible. I mean, realistically, optically, it looks bad. But this is how I feel about it personally. Is like there had to be something. AB is a very emotional player. You know what I'm saying? And we also know BA is a very abrasive coach, very direct. So there had to be some kind of interaction. There's a whole bunch of different reports coming out, but hopefully it's nothing mental health wise, and that if that is the case, that he definitely gets that addressed because that is hugely important. But I just can't imagine after Tom Brady's gone to bat for this man, like put him in his house. Right? BA had a change of action after the press really attacked him about AB. And they went to bat for that man, and then he hears something a little bit that he doesn't like, and actually walks off the field. I was watching it happen, and I was like, "Is what I'm happening? Is that really like they were on the field? They were on the field when that happened." And I was just like, "Is this really?" So most absurd thing, but I'm 99.9% sure his NFL career is over, which is unfortunate because he is one of the better receivers in our generation. He just has so much off the field that he didn't really get to realize his full potential, because he really did have the potential with the numbers he was putting up in Pittsburgh to be top 10 ever with the rate, the pace he was going, and that definitely got derailed.
Yeah, absolutely. Adrian, what's your thoughts on the Antonio Brown situation?
I mean, as talented as he is, there's no excuse for his behavior. And I don't want to hear any mental health arguments or anything like that, because this man has the financial resources and he's been given multiple opportunities to go get that addressed. And if he still hasn't gotten that addressed, or he has no people in his corner pushing him to go get those mental health issues, if indeed that's what it is, addressed, that's now on him, man. Like, this guy has been given an infinite amount of chances to play for, teams of in the NFL. He's got more chances than other people that I thought deserve another chance long before Antonio Brown is. But the reason that he's getting that chance is because he's got the super talent. Us outside looking in, there's so much to the situation that we don't know what's going on. Antonio Brown's already starting I was injured, I didn't feel right. They were trying to get me to go into the game when I wasn't feeling right, when I was still hurt, right? And maybe there is some truth or stuff to that, right? But my thing is, you can not like what Bruce Arians is trying to do, right? He's trying to get you to play and you don't feel like you should be on the field. And Bruce Arians probably said, something crazy to him like, hey, if you so hurt, then get the F out of here. Something like that, right? Because that's how Bruce Arians talks. But at the same time, it's like, no, he has to have more awareness about where he's at in his journey, like who he is as a person and what the public perception is out there. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't think that Antonio Brown gives a damn what any of us think about him or any analyst or anybody in the media, what they think about him. But I'm just saying, like, man, I wish he would have handled the situation better. Even if there's some truth to his side, because right now it just makes him look like he's back in his bag of dramatics, man. Like, and like Mike said, these are people that have gone to bat for you. Tom Brady went to bat for you in New England right before all your issues and stuff broke out. Yeah. Had you living in his house in New England. Then he went down, to Tampa, advocated to get you on the team then. And BA didn't want him on the team, but he was willing to acquiesce because that's what Tom wanted. And then you go and you do the whole fake vaccination card thing. And BA has been defending you the whole time. And then the last 2 weeks, when the reporter explicitly asked him, like, say, hey, you said if he messes up even one time that he'd be out of here, he'd be on the roster. Well, now that he's done this, what's going on? And BA, hey, the situation has changed. What I've witnessed, like, this man literally went to bat for you. And for me, it's not so much about what's actually going on. It's for Antonio Brown, it's the history of disrespect to the people that have reached their hands out to him and tried to wrap their arms around this brother and to get him into a better place. There's so many people that have embraced Antonio Brown and tried to help him and tried to give him every opportunity in the world and have gone to bat for them when they know it makes them look crazy as hell for going to bat to him. And for you to treat somebody like that, for you to treat your coach, regardless of what he said to you, for you to treat Tom Brady like that and to walk out in that fashion, like, I think it's unforgivable. And I think it should be an absolute sin for any NFL team to sign this man to any kind of contract. He should never be allowed to play another down in the NFL.
Gotcha. Isaac, what's your thoughts on it?
I mean, I heard somebody say on Twitter last night, Antonio Brown is who we thought T.O. was at the time. And I think now we should go back and not necessarily appreciate T.O., but probably go back and rehash some of the things that we said about him, because AB is a true distraction. And I couldn't believe my eyes, one, watching him get a standing ovation at the Jet Stadium, but two, like 20 minutes after the fact, going to tweet out super gremlin with a selfie of himself. Like, why do that?
Isaac, can you repeat that? You broke up the last part. Can you repeat the last part?
Mental health issues that are
prevalent. What was it that he tweeted out again?
Which part?
He tweeted a photo of himself with the caption.
Oh, he tweeted a picture of himself with the caption
Super Gremlin.
Yeah, it's like the optics of that. Like, come on.
And then dropped a single.
But the single was fired.
Was it really? Because
I'll give music. Like
from the pit, not the palace.
Did y'all hear? Hold on, I don't mean to go left field or off road here for a sec. Did y'all hear his album? He had a single. Came out about a year and a half ago.
No, he got a whole mixtape, bro.
It was bad, bro.
It
was like
mixtape.
I would never listen to the mixtape ever. You probably couldn't pay me to listen to it, but that single was kind of fire, high key, low key, kind of fire.
I'll check it out.
I think he's got about as much talent in the rap game as Lil B.
Oh, I forgot about him.
And with that, guys, I gotta go. So,
for sure. Isaac, thank you for stopping by, man. Hey, y'all see at good guy Ike _18. He will never leave you bored on Twitter, man. He is just, man. He's a beast. He's a beast.
I'll be wildin'.
Follow my dog, man. Love you, man. Peace.
All right, man. Y'all be love y'all, man.
You too.
Later, man.
But yeah, my thoughts on the situation. Obviously, what he did was completely left field. That's left field. Like, you don't do that, because I could think of so many other receivers, running backs, quarterbacks who've been in similar or maybe perhaps even worse situations, and they didn't storm off the field and you quit on your team. And then Mike Evans goes out there and tries to take and talk with you. He tries to take and talk with you, like, and, I don't know, like, his life story, right? Obviously, this comes from somewhere, right? I don't know. I literally don't know. I have to research it, right? But this comes from somewhere, and all I gotta say is, like, if you're going through something in life, and if people love you, listen to them, man. It's okay to be loved. It's okay to get advice. You go through stuff, man, but it's just frustrating, man.
I get you, Doug. I hear where you're coming from, but at the same time, like I stand by what I said, man. Like there's probably a legitimate reason for what he's doing, or maybe he's just an asshole, right? But my point is we need to stop trying to make excuses for him because he's had enough opportunities. This is not a person that doesn't have significant resources, both financially and with relationships and network connections and stuff like that. This is a person that if he needs help, he doesn't want it. He's had too many opportunities for it, man. I'm sorry. He had a life coach. So you can't even be like, oh, well, maybe he doesn't know he needs help. No, he knows he needs help because even his life coach quit on him. His life coach said, no, I'm not doing this no more.
Yeah. I think Soup, I get the frustration. I just think that like, and again, we don't know. This is all speculation. If it is a mental health thing, like people process stuff differently. Resources doesn't make you better. It's like saying resources makes you not have AIDS, essentially, right? Like I'm not comparing mental health to AIDS, but I'm saying like you could have all the money on the planet. Actually, I guess that's not a good example because of magic. But either way, I'm saying that to say like there's certain things where resources don't solely, but at the same time, he has proven like recording in a locker room. I mean, just look at the history he has. I'm not justifying what he's doing by any stretch of the imagination because there's no way on God's green earth I would want him in a Denver Broncos uniform. I'm just saying that to say it's like there could be some demons he's battling, and I just wish him the best of luck, and I hope he gets his life on track as a human. You know what I'm saying? I
think two things can be true at the same time. I think you can want all those things for Antonio Brown, and at the same time not want to tolerate any more nonsense from him. I'm sorry, but like we right now live in this culture where I'm glad that we're embracing mental health and we're having these conversations around mental health, but we're doing it almost to the detriment of these people that actually have real mental health issues. And we're refusing to hold anybody personally accountable for their actions. And that's the problem that I have with this situation is at what point do we stop trying to figure out the why and just start holding him accountable for the things that he's doing?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Wait, listen, if you agree with Mike, Adrian, me, or somewhere in between, or maybe just disagree with all of us, make sure, as I put it on the screen right here, you go down below and comment below. And if you listen on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, make sure you go and hit us up on YouTube where you can comment, and we're going to go ahead and talk about it, okay? Moving on to the Cincinnati Bengals versus the Kansas City Chiefs. The Bengals continue to wow us. Kansas City Chiefs, they show us that they're also a very tough team as well, too. But the Bengals, Lord have mercy, the Bengals. Mike, I'll let you take off this segment, man. You got some thoughts on it.
Swag God.
Yeah. I mean, what I realized is Joe Burrow was supposed to be a Denver Bronco. We had no shot on God's green earth to getting him. But if that man had that swag in Denver, we'd be a playoff contention, probably 11, 12 games this season. Yeah. I love how they really the Chiefs defense has played better, but the Bengals offense shows you that they're going to be a tough matchup for any defense. They don't even have an indoor facility, right? So they're in Cincinnati in the wintertime, humid, cold, snowy, and they're out there grinding. So I feel like that's a team that can travel wherever they need to and win. And right now, I believe as of right now, they're the number one, or no, the Titans are number one seed, but they're a top 3 seed right now. I think they arrived kind of early, but Joe Burrow is absolutely on track to throw 5,000 yards this season, which is bananas coming off the injury. And Jamar Chase pretty much hemmed up the Rookie of the Year race. Like, you can't convince me at this point. You guys know, like, at the beginning of the year, I'm like, Najee Harris has the perfect opportunity, all this other stuff. Like, there is no close second. It's like, if Jamar Chase does not win Rookie of the Year, every single reporter that didn't vote for him needs to get in a line. And Aaron Donald, arguably the best defensive player in NFL history, should just go smack everybody. Smack him. This man is absolutely dominant. He's absolutely dominating. Like, Les Snead is a dog at corner, and he absolutely embarrassed him repeatedly yesterday. Tyrann Mathieu in that secondary absolutely embarrassed him. Like, that is a very young, exciting team to watch. Joe Burrow is absolutely poised, and I love his swag. And my guy was celebrating with the cigar like he did at LSU and just stunting on the Chiefs, which I always love when the Chiefs take it out.
Yeah, I mean, bro, let's look at the stat line. Joe Burrow going 30 for 30. He's 30 out of 39, 446, 4 touchdowns, right? Jamar Chase, 11 receptions, 266 yards, 3 touchdowns. It he probably locked up offensive rookie of the year. He is the offensive rookie of the year. I'm not entertaining any arguments from
I
anybody.
thought he couldn't catch.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's what everybody was saying. Like we're not really entertaining it. And I like Najee, right? I think Najee had a good season given what was going on in Pittsburgh, and I think he's going to be a good to great player, possibly even a special talent up there for years to come. And even what's my guy's name that we were looking at for offensive rookie of the year outside? Oh, Kyle Pitts, right? Kyle Pitts is going to
Pro Bowl year.
Yeah, Pro Bowl year, right? Is going to be an amazing talent down there in Atlanta for years to come. That being said, Jamar Chase, like the gap between him and whoever you think should be it is massive. Like he is offensive rookie of the year, hands down, period. I don't think we've seen a receiver come into the league as this explosive. Probably the closest that we've got to was maybe Justin Jefferson, man. I love it. I love Joe Burrow's press conference. He's like, hey, I sat here at the beginning of the season. I told you guys we was going to win the division, and all of you in this room laughed. Now what? Like, I love the fact that he plays with the chip on his shoulder, and I think that'll serve him well in this division.
Attitude, bro, and I love it, man. I want to bounce off and piggyback off the both of you. You both bring up great points. And Joe Burrow, man, we see him like the next, like, he's Peyton Manning-esque, man. He really is, man. And I just think, like, Mike, you were saying a moment ago, like, man, I know we had no chance in heck of getting him. I'm like, man, Dolphins, don't you think you could have lost like 3 more games? You know what I mean? Like, look, I like Tua. I'm a Tua fan. I think he's going to be all right. I'm not too worried anymore. But, man, I wanted Joe Burrow, man. But
they hit like Doug. Bro, I don't mean to interrupt you. It's just
– yeah, you good.
I've been like gushing over Joe Burrow all year, bro, and Jamar Chase. Like I said, and people can go back and look. Like, there's a lot of things we're wrong about sometimes. There's a lot of things we're right about. And like Jamar Chase, I told everybody going into this draft, or going into the offseason, was the best receiver by far. What he did in that national championship year, again, keep this in mind. He played against Trayvon Diggs, who's been getting exposed, but first round corner. He played against Pat Surtain and dominated those two, right? Like Pat Surtain's a Pro Bowl alternate his rookie year. Jamar Chase actually made the Pro Bowl his rookie year, right? And Justin Jefferson, keep in mind, was the number 2 receiver on the LSU team to him, right? So I just think that, like, that dude is absolutely special. He's looking like a generational talent, man. And like him and Joe Burrow already kind of setting some records. They're a fun team to watch if they solidify their line a little bit more. Get another backup to Joe Mixon so he doesn't get overused. But think about the team they have, man. Joe Burrow under 25, Jamar Chase under 25, Joe Mixon's only 25, Tyler Boyd's under 25, like that. T. Higgins under 25, like Jonah Williams under 25. That team is young and they're ready. And I think even if they don't go on a run this year, this is going to really set them up to be in contention for that division for a long time.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm going to be bold. I'm going to be Miss Cleo, man, and I'm just going to say it. Bengals have a Super Bowl appearance within the next 4 years.
I agree.
You got a bunch of dudes who want to be there. You got guys like Trey Hendrickson on the edge who's gotten tons of sacks, made a Pro Bowl, I believe, this year. And, like, the Saints didn't even want him last year, right? You have these people on the team who, like, they want to be there. They're buying in. That, like, I love this. I love this. This is why I love football. That's why I say football is the best sport. Basketball's cool. Hockey's cool. Baseball's cool. I like baseball. I even watch surfing on television. It's quite entertaining. But it ain't football. It ain't football. And this is what I love is stories like this where you got the Ohio kid go back to his state, man, and you hear about him growing up poor and stuff like that. He goes to LSU. And then he changes his LSU Tiger colors for some Bengal Tiger colors. Man, it's just everything about this, the swagginess, man. I love it. I'm sorry to rant. We could do the whole episode on the Bengals, right? I love it. Absolutely. Next game I want to take and talk about. I'll touch upon this. I dropped a little solo episode yesterday on this Miami Dolphins versus the Tennessee Titans. Congratulations, Tennessee Titan fans. If you're watching this, congratulations. You are one of the best teams in the NFL. Super Bowl contender. Derrick Henry is going to be coming back at the right time. I mean, just Ryan Tannehill is a low turnover guy that you can win games with. I still want to see the team trust him a little bit more as far as like throws and stuff like that. Not even with throws, just like, just to diversify. You don't want to become okay, the team it's just Derrick Henry again, and then he gets injured again, right? There's enough talent on that team to spread the love. But I love it. I love what's happened in Tennessee. I don't love what happened to my Miami Dolphins yesterday. They got creamed. Tua did not have a very good game. Tannehill didn't have the greatest game yesterday neither, for that matter. But they were pretty much in control the whole game. They controlled their destiny. They did what they had to do, and they beat the crap out of the Dolphins. I mean, they even had Devontae Parker, who virtually almost never says anything. He's a very quiet guy, right? And there was like a bad pass interference call. I want to say it was like 10 minutes and change, and they're marching all the way down the field. I mean, they got all the way just about dang near into the red zone. Might have been on the 20-yard line, right? And like, okay, at that point, it's 17-3. It's a 2-possession game. I'm like, okay, you score, you stop them, score again. I mean, hey, this is a game again, right? But Miami can't keep getting all aggressive in the fourth quarter. You can't keep turning up, man, when you're down 2 possessions and the game's almost over. You got to be aggressive early on, man, I love that they move people around the O-line. Blocking has been better. Tua has to hold on to the ball. He's, don't be another Daniel Jones 2.0 and keep fumbling, right? Tua didn't have his best game. Very conservative. And then it just can't your whole game plan can't be like Waddle. There's other talent, man. Like why do we have to constantly see Mac Hollins in these big situations where he's getting, 30-yard play like that? Put him in the whole game. He's that good. Trust in him. He's not just good for making excellent TikTok videos. # go follow Matt Collins on TikTok. He's super entertaining. But man, like you have talent on that team, man. And I'm really disappointed in the offensive play callers for the Miami Dolphins. So, but congratulations on the Tennessee Titans. They were the better team, and that's just what it is. So, you guys any thoughts on the game?
Yeah, just chiming in on the Titans, man. I really do believe that if Derrick Henry comes back healthy, and I hope they don't rush him into playing, and I highly doubt Mike Vrabel would, just because they know that's their best player unquestionably on both sides of the ball. That's a team built, and we saw this last year because they made it to the AFC Championship game. That's a team that's built to win. That's a team that's built that can go. And if Derrick Henry's back, they'll have a complimentary running game, right? Julio, me and Super talking about earlier, way past his prime. Like, he looks like he needs to just be retired because he's just a guy out there. Doesn't even look like a top 40 receiver at this point. I think if they add a tight end next year, add a receiver, one more piece in their line, their defense is kind of starting to gel, add a few more pieces, man. That's a team that, like, I would not be surprised to see them in a Super Bowl, like, this year. If Derrick Henry can come back healthy. Because, again, that man will finish the season and hasn't played since week 8 as a top 8 rusher in the league, which is absolutely insane. Lets you know the MVP pace that he was on realistically. But I think if he comes back healthy, man, they're going to have to rely more, like you were just saying, on Ryan Tannehill, because you cannot have Derrick Henry having 30 carries a game coming off the broken foot. So it's just like you got to allow that man to get healthy, let him do what he does. And I think as time goes by, he'll do what he needs to do. But they're going to be in a situation that if he is healthy, man, nobody on earth in the NFL, like you hear, just go look up people talking about tackling Derrick Henry. Nobody makes it sound fun. Dude's almost the same size. He's 30 pounds less than Aaron Donald. Like, and he's a running back running a 4.45 or whatever. Like, absolutely insane. So I think, man, if he comes back healthy, that's the team that can go. And I've been saying that the whole year.
Well, my only concern with the Titans right now, man, is as they currently are without Derrick Henry, this is a team that is designed to play from in front. If they get down, I don't think that Tannehill has the ability to throw them back into the game. Adding Derrick Henry into their backfield allows them to play from behind, because they can now control the tempo and beat that defense up a little bit with Derrick Henry. And we saw that earlier in the season, right? When they couldn't quite get it to click, but they were coming back in the third and these fourth quarter comebacks, right? With Henry having these massive performances in the second half of the games. I think that's what you worry about with this team going into the playoffs, because I agree they're extremely well coached. I think Vrabel should definitely be in talks for coach of the year among some other people, right? Just because of the consistency that he has, regardless of whether his star players in there or out of there. I'm with you, Doug. I'd like to see more from Mike Tannehill, but I think that's part of what makes Vrabel a good coach is he knows his quarterback's limitations, and he's not going to try to force him to be something that he's not. Right? They're going to pound the rock. You know, they're going to trust Tannehill to make the key throws that he needs when they need it, and they get a defensive stop. But right now, this is a team that's built to start fast, get points early, jump out on top of you, and stay on top of you. Like I said, without Derrick Henry, I have concerns about them getting down early in the playoffs. But yeah, this is a contender. They're a legitimate contender. They're a legitimate 1 seed. Nobody wants to come to Tennessee in the AFC. Nobody wants to go down there and play them right now. I can tell you that, especially if Henry comes back with no limitations, fresh set of legs. Yeah, it's just an ugly scenario.
Hey, Adrian, I want to add to that. I just want to take just a quick 15 seconds to celebrate Mr. Deontay Foreman. I want to celebrate him, man. He is like
crazy.
He just running like his feet are on fire, man. He's just running like he's just like, no, I'm gonna show you NFL execs why you made a mistake on not drafting me. I'm gonna show you, and I'm gonna make you pay for it every time I touch that ball. He's like little Derrick Henry Jr. and not little about him. I'm just saying, like he out there. He's just little Derrick Henry, man. I love it. I love it.
And that's why I was saying too, man. Like the complimentary. Like having him running how he's running, having Derrick Henry running how he was running, or again with Deontay Foreman running how he's running, even if Derrick Henry's 80%, that's going to probably be the best rushing attack in the playoffs.
Agreed. Absolutely. Got a few more games that we'll touch upon here real briefly. Falcons, they fell to the Buffalo Bills 15-29. Patriots put a spanking on the Jacksonville Jaguars
as they should.
10. Just man, like you broke curfew and now daddy's gonna come home with the belt and beat you. That's what happened. Raiders pull out a very shocking victory, and now both teams are 9-7, 23-20. And then I want to take and touch up, and Adrian, I'll let you touch on this piece. Chicago Bears pull out the dub, 29-3. Mr. Adrian Campbell, aka Soup, go ahead, take it away.
This Giants team is not a fun team to watch. I don't know what they do well besides lose, and even then, I wouldn't say that they lose well because it's an ugly watch watching them lose. Joe Judge was indignant at his post-game presser, and clearly there's some stuff going on in New York that none of us are aware of, because I don't think that Joe Judge is on the rest of the planet with the rest of us, man. I don't think he's here in reality with the rest of us, because judging by just his tone and the things that he was saying in his conference, like he really thinks the Giants are like a piece away, and I'm like, there's a lot more than you guys are missing, a lot more than just a piece. But the reason that I wanted to talk about this game specifically is not even the game itself, right? I know you guys see the jersey. For everybody that's watching on the YouTube, you guys watching the stream, I know you guys see the Rams 94, and if you don't know who belongs to this belongs to one Robert Quinn, who back in 2000, I believe 15-16, set the franchise sack record for the, at the time, St. Louis Rams at 18.5, and he set that record against one quarterback, Mike Glennon. Yesterday in this matchup against the New York Giants, Robert Quinn, the very same, in this time in the Chicago Bears jersey, set the single franchise record for sacks against Mike Glennon at 18.5 again. So I did want to give a shout out to my boy, Robert Quinn. Thank you for that.
Oh, yeah.
And the Giants, man, looked like a hot mess. That game was such a sloppy, ugly game. Andy Dalton had 1 touchdown. David Montgomery had 2. And I feel like they're behind, man. I just don't get it. Matt Nagy's going to be on his way out here. Black Monday, our episode next week is going to be absolutely insane, because I'm expecting
it's going down.
I'm expecting a whole ton of coaches to get fired. The carousel is going to be interesting. But I don't know, man. Like the Rams, I can't even really say the Bears played well. They won that game. Andy Dalton's QBR was 31.1. He completed 53% of his passes, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, and they still won by 26 points. And they only had 87 rush yards. They had 87 rush yards, 162 passing yards, and they won by 26 points. That lets you know the Giants are absolutely atrocious. And I agree 100% with my brother Soup. Joe Judge is in another planet, because they're a quarterback away, a right tackle away. They need some corners. They need some safeties. They need another receiver that can stay healthy. They paid this man all that money. His name's escaped me. He was with Crap, I forgot the receiver.
Oh, the receiver from Detroit.
Detroit, not Marvin Wilson.
No.
Almost like a French name.
No.
Let me
God,
look.
I'm so bad. I should be ashamed of myself that I just had his name
Oh,
on.
Kenny Galladay.
Thank you.
So
Galladay, yeah.
they paid Kenny
Really was
Galladay all this money to have 0 catches, 0 yards, and less than 500 yards the entire season, and that man is making like $18 million a year. So that lets you know, like, either your quarterback's terrible, which is true, your offense is terrible, which is true, your line's terrible, and your play calling's terrible. So they got a lot of wholesale changes they got to make, for sure.
Yeah, the fact that the Giants organization seems to have already come out in support of Joe Judge coming back for another season is concerning to me. Giants fans, I don't know what you have to look forward to next season if this is the guy that they're bringing back. I don't know what, like I said, I don't know what this team does well. I don't know what Joe Judge is supposed to specialize in, because if I'm not mistaken, he was a special teams coordinator with the Patriots, but they're awful at special teams. Like, the thing that he excels at, they're awful at. And he doesn't have the people around him to get their offense going. He doesn't have the people around him to get their defensive going. Like, granted, the roster is devoid of talent in several areas, but I mean, unlike the Lions, right, who I think are a very good comparison, right? I believe in Dan Campbell. I think he's got the recipe for success. He's got everybody buying in, and you can watch the Lions play, and even though they're a bad football team, man, there's a lot of hunger, there's a lot of grit, and there's a lot of fire, and you see bright spots. Like, we've seen Amon-Ra St. Brown come on the last few weeks, right? DeAndre Swift coming on, and they've been hit with injuries as well. But like, that's a team that I believe in. Yeah. The Giants, as they stand right now, with the coaching staff that they have coming back, I don't believe in that team for a single second. And I think we'll see the difference, right, next season, because assuming everybody stays where they're staying, I think Lions obviously easily going to double their wins. And I think Giants are going to be right back here in this mess.
Yeah, I feel that. Next game we're going to take and talk about here in Soup. I'll go ahead and let you touch on this one again. We got the Rams. They rise up to 12-4 to go up against a very scrappy Baltimore Ravens team who is now fallen to 8-8. Rams take and win this one 20-19. Soup, you got a few quick thoughts on this one?
I said this last week, and I still mean it. The Ravens are the most resilient team in the NFL. And I knew going into this matchup that they were going to give us everything that they had. Their excellent coach, Tyler Huntley, is not a slouch, bro. And in terms of backup quarterbacks that complement your game plan for your primary quarterback, right, for your star quarterback, Tyler Huntley is probably the best bargain brand Lamar Jackson that you can get, man. He does so many things very similar to how Lamar Jackson is that, Harbaugh really doesn't have to change his game plan. He doesn't have as big an arm as Lamar, but I would say that he's a touch more accurate than Lamar, and he can get through his reads faster than Lamar. And he's got the mobility to move around the pocket and, to break loose if you let him get. So credit the Ravens all day. They gave hey, Happy New Year, perfect sale.
Happy birthday, bro. Right.
They gave my Rams all that they can handle. Now, that being said, there's two perspectives on this Rams game, right? There's the one perspective that I have, which is Matthew Stafford got to figure it out. Like, we can't hail him as the villain and the savior simultaneously, because sure, we made an impressive fourth quarter comeback, and a lot of it large in part to how Matthew Stafford played, but we were only having to go into this comeback mode because of the hole that Stafford put us in. He throws a terrible pick six. I don't know what you're thinking. He throws a terrible pick six. Then he gets greedy on a play that we needed 2 yards for. Van Jefferson is sitting out there on the sidelines by himself on the weak side of the field, 12 yards down the field with nobody in coverage around him for 10 yards in every single direction. And he throws into double coverage and gets picked. And I don't understand it. Then the fumble, just chalk that up. That's just a good play. There was nothing that got punched out of his hands. There was nothing that he could have done aside from maybe just fall down and take the sack there. But I mean, he looked like he was going to slip it. It was just, I'm not going to put that fumble totally on him, but he has to make better decisions because we're not going to have opportunities in the playoffs to get down and come back like this. And like I said, the other perspective on this is, oh man, maybe the Rams are a pretty good football team because even though they made some significant errors, they were still able to battle back. against a pretty good Ravens team. As beat up as they are, the Ravens are a good team. Don't let their record fool you, because honestly, they should have minimum at least 2 more wins. They're a bad 2-point conversion or a failed 2-point conversion. I won't even say they're bad because I like the plays at the time still. They're 2 failed 2-point conversions away from being 10-8 right now. So, I mean, like, it's a good football team, man. This Rams team, they showed me some stuff. Odell Beckham continues to prove week after week that he wasn't the problem in Cleveland. He's just fine contributing. He's not putting up gaudy numbers, but he had a crucial 4th down catch, and he got the game-winning touchdown. Cooper Kupp continues to, amaze. I'm not going to sit here and say that he's the best wide receiver in the league if we're talking like overall. But if you want to talk about who currently is runnish in the NFL at the wide receiver position, it's Cooper Kupp. The guy does everything that you want out of your receiver. He's faster than you think. He's stronger than you think, and he's a lot smarter than you think. And he sees the game like a quarterback does, man. And he, quiet day for him. He had 1 touchdown, 95 yards on 6 receptions. I think he's 136 or 145 yards away from breaking Calvin Johnson's single season receiving record. This game, he broke Isaac Bruce's franchise's receiving record for the Rams. So, I don't think he'll get it next week against the 49ers, a team that has, been Sean McVay's kryptonite. But I don't want to discount the season that he's had. I think he absolutely deserves to be an MVP consideration. I don't know if I would give him the award, but I think it's crazy that we're not even talking about this guy.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, Cooper Kupp, man, we could talk about him every single week, man, because he's such a stud, man. I mean, he just everything about him, man, on the field. I mean, he's everything that you want as a player. He's tough. He's gritty. He's came back from devastating injuries that would have ended a lot of people's careers, and it's definitely a tribute to the National Football.
And shout out Von Miller, man, because there's a lot of people that's been talking crazy on Von Miller's name in social media. Oh, he's old. He's washed. That's the only reason why y'all got him, because he ain't doing nothing. He got his first sack with the Rams last season and ended up bagging 2 sacks in this game. Not only did he bag 2 sacks in this game, he got the game-sealing sack on Tyler Huntley in true Von Miller fashion, snuck around the edge. Huntley didn't even feel him coming, man. Like, I'm happy that these late season acquisitions that we made with, Odell Beckham and Von, they're showing up and they're playing big in big spots. So kudos to them, man. And we're going to need them down the stretch.
Absolutely. And then the next game, if you want to touch upon this real briefly, Mike, Chargers beat the Broncos 34-13. Got a few quick thoughts on this one.
Super quick. I like the COVID thing has been real. We had 10 starters out because of COVID. I mean, this is a team we beat pretty handily when we played them a couple weeks ago. Drew Lock actually, to be realistic, didn't play a bad game. If you look at the box score, some that you might not know, but he was getting balls in places, but he was playing with slightly hobbled Cortland Sutton. Jerry Jeudy was out. Obviously, KJ Hamler's been out. Tim Patrick's out.
18 for 25, not bad.
18 for 25. He had a pretty decent game. It was just the line, man, and the play calling was atrocious. Our special team has continued to be atrocious. We need to get Tom McMahon out of there immediately. And the Chargers team, they're continuing their season of up and down. You don't know what Charger team you're going to get, but they absolutely dominated yesterday. Yeah. And Justin Simmons, again, I love Justin Simmons. The next jersey that's on the way over here is a Justin Simmons jersey, of course, but yeah, I love his ownership and his leadership style. He missed a crucial tackle on Austin Eckler that could have been a play that was behind the line of scrimmage, turned into like a 30-yard run. So I mean, there was just things that didn't get executed properly, but the Chargers absolutely put their foot in our throat and didn't let up. So, shout out to them for that. For sure.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Then, of course, we got the Texans faced off against the San Francisco 49ers. 49ers improved to 9-7. Definitely a better year than expected.
Congratulations to them. That's their second winning season under Kyle Shanahan. So, bravo, 49ers fans.
Oh, yeah. So they got that one there. Seattle Seahawks 51-29 over the Detroit Lions. We got the New Orleans Saints. They took, and let's see here. 18-10 over the Panthers. Very close game, gritty divisional game. We got the Packers, man. They improved to 13-3 37-10 over division rival Minnesota Vikings. And then we'll go ahead. We'll finish off the episode with this game because we got a little fun segment about Mr. Trayvon Diggs.
Can we press pause real quick? Because even though I know that wasn't a fun game to watch, anybody who had the displeasure of watching that on TV last night, that was horrible football.
Packers game?
Yeah, the Packers game.
Yeah.
Two things to note. Aaron Rodgers to Davante Adams is an unstoppable combination. It is.
Absolutely.
It is. Them boys are just playing pitch and catch out there. And Davante Adams, as much as I love Cooper Kupp as what he's doing this year, like, make no mistake about it, I think Davante Adams is the true number one receiver in this league, the way that he's playing. And I put him over DeAndre Hopkins, not by much, but I like him and D-Hop. That's the one. And then two, with this win, the Vikings officially eliminated from the playoffs. And not only that, the Packers have not locked up the 1 seed. Like, it doesn't matter what they do next week. The 1 seed is theirs. Nobody wants to go to Lambeau in January. It's going to be cold. It's going to be nasty. This team that looked fraudulent, in years past in the playoffs, looks completely legit. No, they're not blowing out teams unless you're the Minnesota Vikings. They're not blowing people out. But Aaron Rodgers, I think, has thrown 4 interceptions on the season. He's playing with a vengeance this farewell tour. He said he wanted to make it like the Michael Jordan Last Dance, and that's exactly what's going on, right? He's killing them with precision. Aaron Jones is starting to get hot. You're seeing Marquez Valdes-Scantling coming on and making some contributions to them. This is a team nobody wants to play in January. They are a legitimate Super Bowl contender. As much as it hates me to say, like, I'm scared to have to go into Lambeau and play them.
Yeah, no, we could definitely see, I could definitely see them. Ooh, excuse me. I could definitely see possibly like a Rams, Green Bay Packers NFC Championship, man. It's gonna be funky, man. I'm excited, man. These playoffs are gonna be fun, and I don't think whoever wins the end, I don't think anybody's gonna see it coming, man. It's gonna be exciting. And then, of course, the last game we'll talk about here tonight is the Arizona Cardinals against the Dallas Cowboys. Arizona Cardinals with a much-needed victory. They pulled this one off 25-22. Mike, you had some thoughts on Mr. Trayvon Diggs, man. Talk to me.
Yeah, I think interceptions obviously are a huge thing, but they're not everything, right? This man's given up the most yards in the NFL by about 250, 300 yards, giving up over 1,000 yards, giving up 11 touchdowns or something like that, 10 touchdowns. And he has 11 interceptions. That's great. But, like, if you're getting cooked consistently, like yesterday, got worked out. He looked like a high school corner playing against Bama or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, it didn't look good. I think he's completely overrated. Again, I'm not saying he shouldn't earn a Pro Bowl berth because of those things, but we've been talking about this consistently all year. If you watch him against a real number one receiver, he's getting cooked. You know what I'm saying? And I think that cover 3 defense that Dan Quinn runs down there allows him to take some chances, but he has to be more disciplined going forward. I think he has all the ability to do it. But right now in the playoffs, against every team they're going to play is going to have a receiver. Imagine him against Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp would expose him. Imagine him against
Davante Adams
or Justin Jefferson. I know different. They're not going to make the playoffs, obviously, but I'm just saying those receivers against him can absolutely expose him. So I just feel like, man, like, Cowboys, this isn't your year. Y'all are them boys, but Michael Parsons is a dog, but y'all got to still shore up something at corner because Trayvon Diggs is very, very – he's the epitome of hit or miss. If he doesn't make a play, he's getting toasted. It's one of the two. It's not – and there's nowhere in between.
Yeah.
He's either making a play or he's getting roasted like these honey roasted cashews I got right here. So this is something I'm gonna hand out. I'm gonna hand these out to Trayvon Diggs for the year that he's had the honey roasted cashews. And because that's what's been happening to him.
Yeah.
Man's getting roasted the whole year.
Not only is he getting roasted because he's cooked, but it honey roasted because the nigga is sweet. I'm sorry, okay. He out here trying to square up like stuff isn't sweet over there. No, it's very sweet in Dallas, man. Like, I'm so sick and tired of these people talking about, oh, he's the best corner in the league. Like, y'all get impressed over the smallest things. Interceptions are cool, but part of being an interception is just being in the right place at the right time. But then if you're going to subsequently give up 1,000 yards when your whole job is not to give up any yardage, that's you not being in the right place, not time at the right time. And 1,000 yards equates to you being in the wrong place more than the 11 interceptions equates you being in the right place. I don't ever want to hear this man's name in the conversation for best cornerback in the league, and I definitely don't want his name in the same sentence, in the same paragraph, the same book as Jalen Ramsey when it comes to DBs. Stop it. It's not close.
Hey, Soup, and then I'm gonna be done on this because I feel like sometimes we bring out the shovel and bury the Cowboys, and they earned it. When you get all the attention, you market yourself as America's team, and you flop in the playoffs. I absolutely expect them to lose in the first round, whoever they play. I expect them to lose. If they play the 49ers, they're going to get punched straight in the mouth, right? If they play the Eagles, they're going to get punched straight in the mouth, in my opinion, right? But I think with that being said, I'd rather have J.C. Jackson at corner. I'd rather have, obviously, Jalen Ramsey. I'd rather have Pat Surtain. I'm glad we do have Pat Surtain, right? I'd rather have Jarius Sneed, Trayvon, or Tre'Davious White. I'd rather have even him coming off injury. Xavier Howard, I'd rather have, because these guys are not giving up a gazillion touchdowns and claiming they're making plays. Right? There's a list of corners I would rather have. Again, I think if they moved him to safety, could be a good thing, or he would just get cooked at safety.
No, he would be Jamal Adams at safety.
No, I mean Jamal
Adams. Also,
shout out to Perfect Cell. You see this? Hey, look, Dolphins, a true America's team. That's my
maybe
boy,
maybe in the 70s. Perfect Cell.
Hey, look,
year of our Lord 2022.
All I can say is that I didn't vote for the Cowboys, and I sure as hell ain't voting for the Dolphins to be America's team. So it is what it is. I apologize. Not really.
Aqua and orange will bring out your eyes. There you go. I mean,
Nah, bro, I'm good.
No, it's all love, man. It's all love. But not man with the Cowboys, man. I don't know, man. They're like, somebody has a good game, like, oh, it could be the next thing. Oh, yeah, it's like
they are who we thought they were.
Yeah, it's exactly.
They're the Steelers last year. The Steelers went on that run that we all knew was fraudulent. That's how the Cowboys are this year.
But guys, we talked about this at the beginning of the season with the Cowboys, right? And I even remember I was just talking to my brother Marshall about it yesterday when we were talking about the rant that we went on when we did the segment about, are the Cowboys the best team in the NFC? And I told y'all, hell no. We're really not about to put them over the Arizona Cardinals. Y'all really had me defending the Cardinals. And then guess what? The Cardinals showed up. By the way, the Cardinals showed up missing their number one wide receiver. So when we're talking about Trayvon Diggs getting cooked, we're not talking about him getting cooked by a number one. He's getting cooked by the 2s and the 3s out there.
And in addition to that, the Cowboys have not beat a 10-win team yet. They've beat 1 or 2 teams with their winning record this year.
That's what I'm saying, man. Like they've played arguably the softest schedule in the NFL. And this is a team that you look at the roster, right? This is not a team. It should be a team that's greater than the sum of its parts, but it's not. Like the parts are a lot greater than the sum that they're producing, right? And it's a bunch of names that, when I turn on my Madden video game, I'm excited because I'm like, Ezekiel Elliott, that means something, right? Tony Pollard, that means something. Dak Prescott, that means something. Amari Cooper, CD Lamb, Lawrence, Micah Parsons, like all of these mean something. And I don't want to I don't want to start no stuff with Micah Parsons because I think Micah Parsons is legitimate all the way around. So take him out of this conversation. But the rest of y'all, you guys are exactly what we thought you was going to be. It's not your year. It's never going to be your year. You'll be stuck in 1995 forever.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And look, man, if you take the Dallas Cowboys and you take 5 stars and you just fill one of them with a blue star, that's the rating. You guys get 1 star out of 5, man. Y'all are weak. It's over. It's over, son. It's up. Matter of fact, hold on. I'm gonna celebrate. We'll end the episode with this meme. Here we go. These are my thoughts right here. Hold on. Give it like 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2. Pow.
Well, he's gonna die from clogged arteries there.
Yeah.
That's all that is.
Until the Cowboys win a Super Bowl. Nah, man. When I used to live out in Texas and stuff, man. I remember we faced off against the Cowboys, right? It was like 2 years ago or something like that. Miami Dolphins went up against the Cowboys. And I'm like, man, we didn't lose by much, man. It was like 13-7 or something stupid like that, right? But just the way they would check him, hey, Doug, are you okay? Are you okay? I'm sorry about your team, man. Are you okay? I just pisses me off. They're not as bad as Patriot fans, but like they're just annoying, man.
Here's the thing with Patriots fans. At least Patriots fans have earned it. Yeah, they're annoying, but they've earned it because what can you say about them over the last 20 years? What can you say about the Patriots over the last 20 years?
Most Super Bowls in the league.
they've been the most dominant team in the league over the last 20 years, and it's not close. And even with Mac Jones, right? Like, I'm not gonna sit here and crown Mac Jones too early, but like, he looks like he's going to be more than serviceable. He looks like he's going to be a problem as long as this team continues to have stout defense. You assume that they'll add some more weapons as long as Bill Belichick is breathing. That's a team that's going to continue to haunt definitely the AFC East for years to come, but the entire league for years to come. Doug, I did have a question, man. Did we get a chance to talk Browns-Steelers matchup that's getting ready to come on tonight?
Oh, yeah. Okay, we will finish. I meant to do that in the beginning, and Isaac said he had to go, so I was like, oh, let me cover the watch the football team real quick. Yeah, all right. So tonight we got the Browns, the Dookie Browns, man, more like facing off against the Steelers, man.
And they're playing in the Irrelevant Bowl because both of these teams have been eliminated from playoff contention. And I'm hurt, bro. I'm actually offended because I had the Browns in the playoffs this year. Oh, yeah. Especially coming off that year last year, right, where they were just a play away, a Baker Mayfield play away from beating, the Chiefs last year. And it's kind of come down to the plays that Baker didn't make, right? Like the interceptions that he threw, like they win against Green Bay if he makes a better throw. If he makes a better throw, or hell, if if Kevin Stefanski trusts Nick Chubb, who was tearing through them and puts the ball in Chubb's hand, right? Like they win that game against Green Bay last week. The reason why I just wanted to talk about this game is because it's been reported and it's believed, even though he hasn't officially stated it, that this is the farewell tour for Ben Roethlisberger. This will be his last time that he goes against the Browns, and this is a man that, despite all the controversy and stuff that has been going on, he is a guy that I think is going to be Hall of Fame when it's all said and done, right? And I think, I think there's definitely a conversation to have around him being Hall of Fame. But even more than that, I think this is a guy that gets disrespected a lot by the NFL media, and I think gets disrespected by his own fan base. And I get it. He hasn't been the Ben that they probably grew up watching. But, man, the consistency that he has brought to this Pittsburgh Steelers team, the fact that they're in contention every single year, the fact that, that this has been a relevant franchise with Big Ben, for better, for worse, right? Like, he has brought them so much consistency, and now Pittsburgh is going into a place that they haven't been into for years, right? And they may be able to avoid it in the offseason by, getting a free agent. Who knows? Maybe Aaron Rodgers ends up over there. But Pittsburgh as a franchise hasn't historically had to worry about their quarterback for the last two quarterbacks that they've had. I think they transitioned pretty much from Bradshaw to Big Ben almost.
Cordell Stewart in the middle.
Cordell Stewart, yeah. So like
who was serviceable.
That's what I'm saying. Like, so there hasn't really been this hasn't been a franchise that's been in search of a starting quarterback for a long time. And I think with what we're seeing in the draft this year, I don't think an answer's there. And if you're unable to get one of these, what I assume are going to be free agent quarterbacks in Aaron Rodgers, there's reports that he's happy again in Green Bay, so he may stay there, or Russell Wilson, who I don't think is going to go over to Pittsburgh either. Your only hope is maybe Deshaun Watson.
I think Derek Carr, because there's talk about him moving, especially depending on the coach. They've never really sold out to him, but I think like a Derek Carr, Kenny Pickett, and with that being said, I believe Big Ben, with this being his last game, or second to last game, last time playing the Browns, I'm gonna count on them to get that W and get Mike Tomlin over that.
What score you got, man?
I got 16-13. I think it's gonna be a tight game.
Okay.
I think it'll be a Nick Chubb running touchdown and then a couple field goals, but it's going to be kind of a defensive battle. Their offense hasn't been humming necessarily, but I think Big Ben will have a touchdown, and he'll make a Big Ben play and he'll go out in style. But I think they'll get the W today.
I got him 17-20, but I got the Browns edging them out. And I almost want to give the benefit of the doubt to the Steelers, especially because Myles Garrett is chirping early. He says that he wants to send Big Ben out on a high note. And, typically when these players start chirping before the game, they come out and have the absolute worst performance of their careers. So logic says go with the Pittsburgh Steelers, but I'm going to go with the Browns. I'm going to pick them to edge it out. I think Nick Chubb is the difference here.
I got Steelers, man, winning 30-10.
Ooh.
30-10. Big Ben goes out with the bang. They get emotional. They play for him super well. But yeah, I'm not going to be watching. I'll watch the highlights later. I'll watch the highlights. You know, I'm gonna go on Hulu. I'm gonna watch was it Harlem Godfather with Forrest Whitaker, and then Cobra Kai came out on Netflix. Hashtag Cobra Kai.
Witcher season 2.
Man, it's.
I know y'all can clown me all you want, but I'm a gamer first, baby. I'm a gamer first, sports person second. So that's what it is. Witcher season 2.
I love it. I love it. But other than that, that's all we got here today, y'all. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. For people there, shout out to Perfect Cell. Also want to shout out to everybody who took and tuned in here today. Shout out to y'all for supporting the channel. We're wrapping up the regular season. We're gonna still have weekly episodes. They'll be a bit shorter for the playoffs, right? But I think we'll have just as much stuff to take and talk about. And then of course, you know, we crank out material throughout the year and stuff like that.
Some fire interviews lined up too, Doug. We can't let the people know yet, but we definitely got some fire interviews lined up.
Yeah, hey, we got some pro NFL players, ex-NFL players coming on the show. Mike reached out to his plug. I reached out to my plug. Man, we got some heat for y'all, man. It's coming, man. It's coming. So this is the time of the year where people are available to take and talk to us a little bit more than the regular season. So.
And you know, we got you covered for the upcoming draft. You will continue to talk prospects and stuff with you. You know, the season isn't over. We still got another 2 solid months of football, baby. And then it's all the fun off-season stuff. It's good. It's going to be good. And we appreciate each one of you guys tuning in, consuming us however you guys consume us, whether it's, you know, through audio, through the video. We appreciate you guys rocking with us. I know I've enjoyed being back with my brothers for these last 3 episodes. That's been fun. But your boys got to buckle down. That just made another tuition payment today. So, you know, we back in it tonight. So I'll be spotty for the next 3 months, but I will check you guys on the other side of the Super Bowl. And you already know if my Rams is winning, baby, I might have to sit out of class to come and talk to y'all a little bit. But we'll see. We got a long way to go before we get there.
The Super's like
what I do know is that Terry McLaurin ain't in the Super Bowl. That's what I do know.
Oh, Isaac, we said he ain't top 5. No, we don't get that start up again. But hey, thank you guys so much for tuning in. God bless. Subscribe. You want to support the channel, information will be down below. You guys can always donate. Got the Cash App below. That helps get better equipment and all that good stuff. So you guys have a blessed night. God bless you guys. Jesus loves you, and have a happy new year. I hope 2022 is a prosperous, successful, and most importantly, safe year for you all. Take care. Have a good night.
Aaron Donald's still the GOAT.
Don't get touched by Omarion.